anxiety or depression? Many are unable to decipher between what they are experiencing, if it's anxiety or depression. Can you please give a small idea on what is anxiety and depression, if possible?
So, anxiety is a feeling of fear. It's a feeling of dread, uneasiness. When you're faced with a stressful situation, when you're faced with a difficult situation, when you sense that there is a danger outside which can cause harm to you or your loved ones. So there is this feeling that affects your body and mind both. Okay. So what's happening in anxiety is, in fact, it's healthy to be anxious sometimes because your body is preparing for the danger outside. Your body is giving you signs that there is something dangerous outside and you need to prepare for it. So your body starts to produce the hormone adrenaline, which gives you strength to either run away from the danger or to fight it, which is what we call fight or flight mode. But what's happening is in this day and age, our mind has created this pattern that there is always danger outside. There is something that's causing stress constantly. And we constantly sense that stress and that difficult situation or danger, because of which we constantly produce adrenaline in our body and we are constantly in fight or flight mode, which is what leads to anxiety attack when we feel that, oh, I can't handle this anymore. Anxiety can also be the future worry, intensified future worry. But on the other side, depression is basically when you have given up, when you don't want to fight, or when you don't want to run away. When you're acting dead, that's depression. There is no interest in whatsoever what's happening around the world. It's like you've withdrawn yourself from the world, and that is depression. So that's the difference.
Okay. Anxiety among youngsters in the age group of 11 to 25. And we notice that it's quite rampant now. Can you explain why?
Sure. So just like what I said about anxiety, anxiety is a state where your body is producing a hormone which gives you strength to either fight or run away from a difficult situation. What's happening with kids these days, not just kids, I'll say everyone, even adults, is that there is constant need to either fight or fly. We are constantly in that state. Why are we in that state? We are in that state because of the lifestyle that we have chosen. One, definitely, I can blame the technology, the screen time that we are spending. That's so much of time we are investing on screen. What's happening is screen time gives you an instant gratification, instant reward, or instant stress. Whatever you're watching, whatever you're reading, it is giving you an emotion, it is giving you a feeling. And most of the times it is that stressful situation. Whatever you're reading, whatever you're watching is too intense, especially youngsters. What are they doing online these days? Playing games, lot of adrenaline. What are they reading? News. If they're reading news, if they're reading what's going on around the world, that is also creating fear, dread, uneasiness. Again, adrenaline rush. So this is about screen time. Not having enough sunlight, which is medicine for anxiety and depression. Constantly, being in a confined space, in darkness, that is again, creating a lot of anxiety and fear in people. And then this peer pressure that we have, this pressure to fit in the definition of the society, the competition. Okay, that also leads to a lot of adrenaline rush. They're constantly under pressure to perform. Okay, and then uh, when they are between 11 to 14 or 15, they are naturally depressed. Okay, they are naturally depressed, or they are naturally feeling anxious because na- naturally they are going through something. They're evolving as a person. So during that phase, what happens is the children, they feel they've they've just entered the world. All this while, until that age, they were only aware of their family, their themselves, and their surrounding. But suddenly they have to now socialize. Now they're going out and realizing, oh, there is this world outside that they have to you know manage with, interact with, which is very, very difficult sometimes for kids. Okay, and they feel lost. So these kids, they naturally feel anxious or depressed. But apart from that, in general, the kids are feeling anxious mostly because of the screen time, the lifestyle, no exercise, sitting all the time, and then the competition, this need to become rich instantly, because whatever they're watching online, whatever they're reading, every kid I've met, they want to become rich. They just want to, they don't want to do much, but they want to become rich.
Oh, okay.
So that is also the you know the message that they are getting from social media and surroundings.
Okay.
So yeah, that is also adding into their anxiety.
So how do we handle anxiety, Manisha?
How do we handle anxiety? So the answer is pretty simple. One, we as society, we'll have to learn to slow down. We are in rush, and logically it doesn't even make sense. Why are we running so much? What are we really fighting? Logically it doesn't make sense. But yes, we have created a life that requires, or that demands, constant fight and flight. Whenever it gets overwhelming, we want to run away. We don't want to face the reality. And when we are in the reality, we're constantly fighting. So, yes, the number one solution is slowing down, but I also understand it's just not so practical. So, practical way of handling anxiety is exercising, really stepping out, moving your body, stepping out in sunlight is again very, very important to find that right alignment. And diet, taking care of diet is also important, and reducing screen time. Whatever you can do to reduce your screen time, even if you can reduce it for an hour, like if you're spending 6 hours, make it 5 hours. If you're spending five, make it four. Just start with that and see how it helps you to be more present in your life and not so anxious about everything. Okay. And if it is too much, let's say it is too intense, you're just not able to handle the anxiety and it is extreme, it has become a disorder, then take a therapy. Talk to someone. You need that.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe the root cause lies somewhere else and you need to address that.
Okay. Why is my child secretive? Why is my child not speaking to me? Is a constant conversation among most of the parents who have teen children. So, any suggestions?
Uh, that's a very interesting question. And my answer is they're not going to talk to you. So they are not going to talk to you. Yes, some kids, they are comfortable. Some kids are comfortable and they may come to you and they they may talk to you. But most teenagers, they are not comfortable talking to their parents. When in teenage, when a child is growing up and the child is learning about society, when the child is learning about himself or herself, for them, their parents don't understand them. They cannot understand them, and their parents are dumb. It's of course we have exceptional cases, but most of them they just either they can't trust their parents. Like trust is the main factor. They can't trust their parents to trust them to understand what they are going through. Okay, so it's okay if your child doesn't talk to you. Let them be. Maybe you can find a neutral person for them. Maybe someone who they can relate with, like an aunt or an uncle or a therapist, where they can just open up and talk about what's going on with them. But it is absolutely okay if they're not talking to you. It's natural if they're not talking to you. Don't force, don't push, otherwise it will create more distrust. Um, and the relationship can be completely ruined. So just trust your child, okay, and find a person who can actually listen to them, and where they find a safe space for them. Apart from that, start giving your teenagers some task. If you've not done it before and your teenage is already in late teens, it may be difficult, but if they are in early teens like 11, 12, start giving them some task. Involve them in the major decisions, the important decisions at home. Give them money to handle. Just involve them. Tell them that you're important and you're part of the family and you are part of the decisions that we're making. Involve them in cooking, or maybe decorating the house. Make them feel important and make them feel like an adult and not like a child, and most of your problems will be resolved. I think you'll find that connection that you're missing with your child. If your child is already in their late teens, maybe around 17, 18, then this will be a difficult task. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we can do much about that.